I'm going to show you an easy to follow 5-step guide to using a Fluke 789 process meter for sourcing or simulating 4 to 20 milliamp loops. Perfect for a whole host of instrumentation, calibration and fault finding needs. Quickly, before we move on to the steps on how to use the Fluke 789, we should discuss the difference between sourcing and simulate modes. Transmitters and other sensors that give 4 to 20 milliamp signals are connected to a PLC or other input device that reads the current within the loop. These current loops are usually 24 volt DC powered. These instrumentation loops can either have the 24 volts powered from the input card, or the transmitter is externally powered and it provides the 24 volts for the loop power. When using a process meter in place of a transmitter to test the loop, you'll need to use it in a different mode depending on what is powering the loop. If the transmitter was supplying the loop power, you'll need to source the loop. If the input card or isolator is powering the loop, you'll need to simulate the loop. Let's now look at the steps you'll need to source or simulate. Afterwards, I'll go through a few tips on how to identify how a 4 to 20 milliamp loop is set up, so you'll know what mode to use. Remember, electricity is dangerous, so only work on equipment you are competent to do so, and always check the voltages you are working with. For sourcing 4 to 20 milliamps on a loop that is powered from the transmitter, follow these steps. Step 1. Isolate your transmitter loop and disconnect your transmitter at the head. Step 2. Put the transmitter into milliamp loop mode. Step 3. Connect the red probe to the left loop power port on the meter and connect to the positive wire going back to your input card. Step 4. Connect the black probe to the milliamp output port and the negative wire going back to your input card. Step 5. De-isolate the loop. Congratulations, you are now sourcing the loop and can change the current settings with the coarse and fine up and down arrows to step through different current values between 0 and 20 milliamps. For simulating a loop that is powered from the input card or barrier, follow these steps. Step 1. Isolate your transmitter loop and disconnect your transmitter at the head. Step 2. Put the transmitter into milliamp manual mode. Step 3. Connect the red probe to the milliamp loop power port on the meter and connect to the positive wire going back to your input card. Step 4. Connect the black probe to the common port on the meter and connect to the negative wire going back to your input card. Step 5. De-isolate the loop and you are now simulating current in the loop. Just like when sourcing, you can change the current setting with the coarse and fine buttons. It's worth knowing that the Fluke 789 has an auto step functionality that is really useful when lone working on 0 to 20 milliamp or 4 to 20 milliamp loops. This mode will run the meter through the full current range, either in a nice smooth sweep or predetermined steps. Simply connect to your input card the same way as source or sync, but put the meter into the milliamp step mode. Use the blue button to change through the different modes. If you are unsure if the loop you are working on is source or simulate, isolate the equipment at the head and test for voltage, first on the head and then on the loop. If the voltage is on the transmitter head, then you know you need to source. If the voltage is on the input card, then you know you need to simulate. For the other modes of the meter, such as continuity and voltage, check out my other video guide on a Fluke 117 that contains all these same modes. Check out the link in the description for the latest price on the Fluke 789 on Amazon. If you do want to purchase the Fluke 789 or anything else on Amazon for that matter, then using this link will help support the channel at no extra cost to yourself. I hope you've enjoyed the video and remember to like and subscribe for more great content in the future.